Hey, welcome back, guys. So today on this video, we are talking about your Builderall account, and more specifically, I'm going to quickly answer a question. Keep getting a lot on my other video, and that is, how do you create your course in Builderall? So let's go ahead and talk about this. First off, guys, real quick video, not too many steps involved, so be sure to stick around to the end of the video. But why would you want to create a course in Builderall anyways? Well, that's pretty easy. If you're running an online business, maybe doing content, sometimes your viewers are going to ask for more information about a certain topic, and it's a good opportunity to offer them a course. Whatever the case is, it's a pretty easy process. It's handled here in your Builderall dashboard. Check my video description. I'll try to leave the written instructions there as well. But I've already logged into my Builderall account, and this is the home screen. Now here on the home screen, if you want to create a course in your Builderall, here on the left side, you're going to click on Build. It looks like a little light bulb. Once you do that, you'll see this pop up, and you want to click here on Build a Course. Okay, once you do that, you'll see this little pop up over here. You want to click on Courses. Once you click there, you'll see all the courses you might have already put together. But to create a new course, click on this blue button, New Course. Okay, next, Builderall is going to take you step by step on putting this course together. So first, we're going to go ahead and name the course. So for example, if this is an international cooking course, we'll just name it International Cooking Course. Right here, you're going to go ahead and choose an instructor. So I'm going to choose myself. If it's a different instructor, you can go ahead and click this plus button and go ahead and make a new course. So let's say this is put together by Bruce. You can write a little blurb about them and upload an avatar and then click on OK. Okay, next we're going to choose the course category. So if this is International Cooking Course, I'm going to go ahead and put this under Languages and Cultures. All right, I'm going to click on Next. Okay, here we can go ahead and upload an icon. They do let you know it should be JPG, JPEG, or PNG, and it should be 300 by 300 pixels, and then click on Next. Okay, next we're ready to go ahead and set up and create our course. So click on the green Create. Okay, so now we can go ahead and start setting up our course. So first what we're going to do is look over here on the left. You can see we're going to put together General, Course Content, Registration Protection, Theme, Testing Incentive, Integrations, and FAQ. So first what we're going to do is go ahead and put together the general information. So we have a course name. Here we can go ahead and add a description. Okay, I put the best recipes from all of your favorite countries. Here you can go ahead and choose a domain or subdomain. If you're going to use a custom domain, you can click right here and you can go ahead and connect one of your custom domains. All right, we scroll down a little bit. You can see this is green. So the students are allowed to ask the instructor questions as they're going through the course. Here you can go ahead and choose the email address that your students are going to receive emails from. Here you can go ahead and set up the pixels for Facebook, Google, and then also your tag manager. Okay, so that looks good. So what we're going to do is go ahead and move on to the course content over here on the left. Okay, so Builderall courses are set up into modules, and inside each one of those modules, you can have different lessons. So let's go ahead and add a module. We'll click here on New Module. Here we can go ahead and name the module. So let's say this is about Italian food, and we'll click Create Module, and let's go ahead and create another module. And let's say this one is about Mexican food, and you can add a description, you can add an icon, and then create module. And let's go ahead and create one more module. So let's say the next one is going to be about Chinese food. Okay, and create module. Now inside of each one of these modules or chapters, you can have a lesson. So for example, Italian food, we're going to have a lesson about pizza, and we'll also have a lesson about spaghetti, and then also another lesson about meatballs. And then in Mexican food, maybe we're going to have a lesson about tacos, another lesson about burritos, and another lesson about nachos. So how you do that is off to the right here, you're going to click on this button, Add Lesson to Module, and we're going to go ahead and name this module. So again, this is for the Italian food module. So this lesson is going to be about pizza, and then we'll create lesson. And you can see we now have a new lesson under Italian food. And let's go ahead and add another lesson to this module. And this one is going to be about spaghetti. And we'll scroll down and create lesson. And let's create one more. So this is going to be about meatballs and create module. Okay, so now we have module and two lessons. It looks like I accidentally added the meatballs as a module, not a lesson. So I'm going to click here and name this meatballs, create lesson. Okay, so I went ahead and corrected that. So I'm going to delete this meatballs module because that's actually a lesson, and delete. Okay, now we can move on to Mexican food. So Mexican food, let's go ahead and click right here next to Mexican food and add a lesson. So this one is about tacos, and we'll create a lesson. And then we're also going to create another lesson. Let's say this one is about burritos. And then lastly, let's go ahead and add one more about nachos. Okay, so as you can see, it's starting to come together. Now you can also rearrange these after you put them together. So maybe I want my students to learn about Mexican food before Italian food. So what we can do is off to the right, you can see this little arrow. We're going to hide all the lessons. And now what we can do is we can just drag this Mexican food up above Italian. And now Mexican food is going to be taught before Italian food. And you can do the same thing with the lessons inside of each module. So we'll open this up. When they are learning about Mexican food, maybe we want them to learn how to make burritos before tacos. So you can just easily grab the burritos and drag up above the tacos and drop it. Okay, so now we have our course outlined. So we're going to be teaching people about Mexican food, Italian food, and Chinese food, and they can go lesson by lesson learning about each individual food. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back through here and then go ahead and add content into each one of these lessons. So right here on burritos off to the right, we're going to click on edit lesson. It looks like a pencil icon. Okay, along the top here, you're going to see the different items you can add into this lesson. So first what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add some text. So let me go ahead and let people know what they can expect to learn in here. Okay, so this is text before the comment. So I let them know this is the best recipe, better than Chipotle. You'll love these burritos. And then after that, they're going to be able to review the content. And then after that, we can say, how were the burritos? Were they the best ever? Okay, and then this is actually a really quick lesson. So it's letting them know it's going to take about 60 minutes. But for me personally, I think it's going to take about 8 minutes to go through this lesson. And this is going to be an easy recipe, so I'll notate that here. Okay, now I'm going to save the changes. All right, and now when we go back in here to the edit, you can see all of the changes we just made. Now we can move on to the content and just move left to right from this menu. So once you do that, you're going to see content type. So click here. So as you can see on the content, you can add a YouTube video, a Vimeo video. You can upload a video from your computer. You can upload a PDF file. You can add an HTML code. So for me personally, since we're going to be teaching someone how to make a burrito, I want to add a video. So I'm going to click here on YouTube video. Now all you're going to do is just grab a YouTube link, and it doesn't need to be your YouTube video. It could be anybody's YouTube video that has the public share button. Of course, if you're going to use someone else's video, just be aware that if they delete their video from YouTube for some reason, you're going to end up with a broken link in your course. But let me go ahead and grab a video. Okay, so I just pulled up this video, and what we're going to do is scroll down and then click on the share feature, and then we're going to click on copy the link, and then we're done here. And when we go back here to Builderall, we can easily just copy in the link and then save changes. Now, when we open up the burritos lesson and we go to content, it's going to have a YouTube link. And then here on access, we can click here. So if they just signed up for the course, maybe I want them to have that available immediately. So I'm going to leave everything in 0. However, if they sign up for the course and I don't want them to learn about burritos for, let's say, the next 3 days, I'm going to put 3 right there. And that way, when they get access to the course, they're going to have to wait 3 days before they get access to this one particular lesson on how to make a burrito. You can drill that down into minutes as well. So let's say they got access to my course, but they don't get to see this course for 45 minutes. All right. And then we're going to move on to links. Here we can go ahead and add any kind of links. So if you have any kind of relevant links or references, you can add that here. Just click new link, add the link, and then the description. This is the calorie intake for burritos. And then we'll go and link to caloriesaboutfoodfake.com. And then we'll create a link. It says URL not valid. So we need to add the HTTP. Okay. Now hit accepted and create link. And here we can go ahead and add any kind of files. So maybe we're going to upload a PDF file that's going to include ingredient and a list of ingredients for burritos. And here we can go ahead and add a test if we want. So they're going to need to take a test after this particular lesson about burritos. We can add in a survey. Maybe we're going to ask them the best location to buy burritos or which city makes the best burritos. And then lastly, comments. So you can disable comments or you can go ahead and turn on comments. So that way your students can leave comments on the lesson itself. Once you've worked left to right and all of that's completed, click on Save Changes. Okay, so as you can see, it's kind of time consuming because you have to build out each and every lesson. But the cool thing about building out a course, it just continues to work for you after you've put it together. Of course, it's a lot of time investment in the beginning. So you're going to want to work through these one by one until you're done with all of those lessons. Once you're done, click on Save here on the top right. Okay, and now we can go back over here on the left menu and click on Registration and Protection. Okay, next is going to see these 5 options. So require registration. So generally, I'm going to leave this on, registration required to view content. If it's some sort of a free course, then you can go ahead and not require registration. But even at that, if it's a free course, I would still require registration. And that way you can gather their name and email, and you're going to know who's accessing your course. Next, activation settings. Once they've registered, you can go ahead and give them access immediately. And you can also set a limit. So let's say we only want them to have access for 10 days. We'll change that to 10 days and close registration. So this is if you're not accepting any new students. And then we'll scroll down email settings. So email settings, they would need to require and confirm their email to finish registration. I'll turn that on. So that way they're not just registering with a fake email. Here you can turn on the welcome email with their login. Here you can go ahead and add them into your mailbox if you want. Okay, and then we're going to go down here to multi-level access. I'm not going to turn that on. And then we can go here to protection settings. So if you want to restrict it to this domain, you can go ahead and enter that in. I'm not going to do that. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead and scroll back up, and we're going to go and click on theme. Okay, here you can go ahead and change the course theme. So by default, it's going to be standard. You can change it to modern or modern 2. If you switch over to modern or modern 2, you can go ahead and adjust the font. So we'll do Comic Sans, and then we'll do large font size. You can change the background color. So let's change it to maybe red. You can change the text color by clicking right here. text color. Let's go ahead and do it as black. You can change the button color, button text color. So as you can see, you can customize it quite a bit. You can add a YouTube live item. You can add in various social links right here. Once you've set that up, go ahead and scroll back up and then click on testing and incentive. Okay, so for them to pass the course, you can go ahead and set this final test. So you can do a percentage of the right answers, or you can do the amount of correct answers. I'll do percentage, and let's say they need at least a 70% to pass, and then they can take this up to 3 attempts. And then you can go ahead and add in various questions. So true or false. What's the question? Are burritos delicious? And then they can do true or false, and then we can add a new question. So as you can see, it starts adding the questions underneath here. And on the left, we can click on integrations. Okay, so here is where you can go ahead and set up the payment integration. If you need help setting that up, go back and watch my other video that describes that in complete detail. And lastly, we can go ahead and choose facts. So if you are getting a lot of questions about your course and what it includes or what it goes over, you can go ahead and create an FAQ right here. All right, so once you've gone through all of these menu items, you want to be sure to click on save. All right, now that it's saved, we're going to go back here to all courses. And then now you can see here is our international cooking course right here. And let me go ahead and open it up and show you what it looks like. Okay, so here is our international food cooking course. And you're going to be able to see the modules right in here. As you can see, we did the red background with the black lettering, and it has that modern look there. So of course you're going to want to go in there and kind of make sure that it matches up with whatever your brand is. So let me go back here to Builderall, and I'm going to open this up. So there you have it, guys. If you're wondering how to create a course in your Builderall account, that's the easiest way I know how to do it. If you know an easier way, be sure to leave a comment below. Let the rest of us know how you did it. Hopefully you found that video useful. If so, click thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.